Allison Davila, and this is an instructional video for high school student athletic trainers on how to tape an ankle. First, you're going to start with the tough skin, and you're going to spray it just generally around the ankle. It helps the pre-wrap stick for the athletes, especially when they're sweating. And then you're going to put Vaseline on the front and back, not too much, but enough to cover it so that way the pre-wrap doesn't give them blisters when they're running around. So you're going to start with the pre-wrap, which is just the undercoat for the tape. You're going to start on the bottom of the foot, kind of cover the skin, overlapping by half everywhere, and then you just kind of go all the way up, and you're going to stop at the base of their calf. Then you're going to get this athletic training tape. And you're just going to put a base strip. You want to make sure that you grab a little bit of their skin when you tape, so that way it kind of helps it stay up as well, just a little. You're going to put 2 base strips overlapping by half. You can see the shadow in between where it gets both of the tape to overlap. And then you're going to put one on the bottom. Make sure that you don't go any lower than this bone that sticks out. It's called the base of the 5th metatarsal, and you can see that protruding on the side. So you just want to put kind of like a landmark right there, just a little tape. Okay. And then I usually start off with the figure 8. You always want to make sure that their foot stays at a 90-degree angle, that they're sitting up straight, and that their leg is not being pinched, and that their foot always stays flexed. So then I start with my figure 8. And it's going to wrap around the bottom, like the bottom of the figure 8, the bottom of the 8, and it's going to wrap around the back and come to the front, just as you were drawing an 8. So it's going to loop around the bottom and then loop around the top, just like you're drawing the figure 8. Then I'm going to start with the stirrup strip, just as if they were putting their foot in the stirrup for a horse. You're going to start always on the inside of the foot. Cover the medial malleolus, which is the inside ankle bone, on the middle of it, and then you're going to come to the outside and come to the top of this base strip. So here's the malleolus, the lateral one on this side, and the strip is covering it up in the middle. Then you're going to overlap it with what's called a horseshoe, which is if a horseshoe was just wrapping around the ankle, and you're going to put that directly on the medial malleolus as well. So you kind of want to make it cross over the malleolus, just like this, the middle of both tapes. Then you're going to start with the next strip overlapping by half to the front. Make sure to overlap by half. It gives it a sturdier base. So now we have the middle one and this one up front. You're going to overlap by another half with the horseshoe. So it's overlapping by half in the bottom one. And then you're going to put the last third strip overlapping by half in the back, as well as the other horseshoe on the bottom. So you're going to have 1, 2, and 3 strips, and then the middle one, the top one, and the bottom one making a box. Okay? And that technique is called the basket weave. The interlocking allows to have a better support of the tape to do its job to keep the ankle from going in and out. So the next part to really lock the heel in, to make sure it doesn't really go anywhere, is called the heel lock. So you're going to start at the top, come around, lock at the bottom, and then come towards you, and then you're going to bring it back up around and cross at the top, and then come back around in the back and lock the other heel, and then come back up, and that's 1. You always want to make sure you have 2 for double support. So it crossed up here in the front, and it made a V down here at the bottom. So we're going to have X's up here with the tape, and we're going to have a V right here. There's also a V on this side. So now we want to overlap it again, this time going out the opposite direction. So I'm going to start at the top, again covering where my strips were. Now we're going to make a triangle with these. Coming down the bottom, going up, coming back down, overlapping that one, and back up. And then you'll end right here. That's the heel lock. And then I always just put a cover strip on the bottom lightly so you're not, again, clamping these bones too tight because you can actually fracture your bones if you tape them too tight. And then just cover them up so that the frays are kind of gone. Makes it look a little more clean. And then you'll just overlap by half going down, covering up the rest of the empty gap. Making sure that the tape doesn't bunch up. You don't want to fight the tape because then if it bunches up and rolls, it'll give them blisters wherever it is. So see how everything's laid flat. And I'll just put the top strips to cover up. And that's how it is. So they can't go down too much. They can't go inverted, which is bringing their heel in. And they can't invert too much, going out, which is bringing their heel out. And that's how you wrap an ankle. Thank you.